Oh, look at you, man. This is the way to start a podcast right here. I'm with
No,
my new
no, no.
friend Nigel
Count
Nigel Coulson. Nigel, hey, pleasure to meet you. How you doing?
Sabedi.
And I see you're at, is that like a local cafe or restaurant, outdoor restaurant there?
Yeah. This is my literally on my doorstep. It's dark at the moment because you can't see, but down there,
Yeah.
I live on a boat on the Mekong River.
All right. Well, Nigel, we are heading over to a spectacular country that we need to put some attention on because I primarily have been focusing on Thailand and Cambodia. Those are usually the hot spots, even Vietnam.
Yeah,
But now we're going to finally cover Laos. And you live in this beautiful country, Laos. So let's start out, Nigel.
yeah.
I'm always fascinated to meet guys like you because you're you're obviously from England and you
Uh-huh.
found your way all the way to Laos. Share a little bit of backstory about you, where you're from in England and how you landed in Laos.
Okay. I'm from central southern England, about half an hour's drive up from the coast, small rural town. Nothing much going on there. It's a bit of factory work, a bit of farming, a bit of tourism. The thing everybody knows that's near where I'm from is Stonehenge. So I
Okay.
grew up literally 3 miles from Stonehenge.
Wow.
It has no value to me. No, yeah, it's just a pile of rocks in a field, you know. I know it's world famous and everyone gets really excited, but to me, it's just a pile of rocks in a field.
Wow.
I'm 53 years old. This is my second attempt at leaving the UK. I tried the Netherlands before. Fantastic place to live, but the relationship didn't work out with the person I was living with for personal reasons. We're still friends. It's all good. Um, but yeah, I felt like I'd learned all I was going to learn in the UK. I wanted to get out, just see some more of the world, try somewhere else to live, find somewhere with better weather, nicer food, or food that I like more.
Uh-huh.
I was single. I had spare time and spare money again. I was going up to London once a month just for something to do. Walked into a Thai massage place, never had a massage before. Thought, okay, I'll go and do that. It was really, really good. Afterwards, I sat sipping my jasmine tea, started talking to the receptionist, saying about, kind of had enough of the UK. I'm thinking about moving to Portugal, somewhere cheap to live, sunny, friendly, easygoing. She said, oh, right, you should check out Laos. That's where I'm from, which is where she was from. Um, Long story short, I kept going to London, kept meeting her. We were going out for drinks and dinner, getting on really well and stuff. And then she went back. She left the UK. She had to go back to, I think she went back to Vietnam to work for a bit. So I was at a loose end and thought, okay, then right, I'll book myself a holiday. I'll come to Laos. Landed in the Luang Prabang. Had 3 weeks here. Thought the place was absolutely fantastic. Got all my accounts in order. Got my house up ready to rent out back in the UK. And thought, yeah, okay, I can do this. I can go and live there. Thinking it would just be like it's just a long holiday.
Mhm.
But that's quite a bit more involved than that. Moving to another country is not like a long holiday. That's something I found out straight away.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, on my friend's advice, I checked out the place, liked it. A year later, came back, and here I am to live.
So it sounds like you had a bit of wanderlust and you wanted to kind of get out and see the world and experience something different from England. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. I've done a lot of traveling on motorcycles across Europe,
Hmm.
and I really enjoyed that. But we had Brexit in the UK. Sure, everyone knows about that.
Hmm.
The upshot of that was that I would need a visa to go and live in Portugal. So I'm going to need a visa, then I can pretty much go anywhere in the world. It's like
Yeah.
Portugal stops being easy and it opens up the door for the rest of the world then.
Right. Yeah. Okay,
So
great. So,
yeah,
so Nigel, what town are you currently living in?
At the moment, I'm in Luang Prabang,
Okay.
which is the cultural heritage center of Laos. It's the old capital of Buddhism in the country.
Okay.
Uh, the- so it's a protected area. It's got UNESCO heritage site protection.
Oh, wow.
Uh, it's a very nice place to live. It's quite a standalone place compared to the rest of the country,
Hmm.
but it's not a bad thing for it. It's all the old town is all kind of turn of the century French colonial buildings from the about the 1890s to maybe the 1930s, perhaps that kind
Yeah.
of era.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. That sounds great. Are there like Buddhist temples and any ruins out there?
There are more temples here than I've ever seen anywhere in my life ever combined. It's
Wow.
unreal.
Yeah.
Um, the way the cities work here is they're all made from tiny little villages that have all clumped together into one big city. But those villages have kept their own little identity and their own boundaries, and each village has its own temple still. It's quite a complicated arrangement of your municipalities and provinces, but it kind of makes sense when you've been here for a while.
Yeah. And I see you're at, is that like a local cafe or restaurant, outdoor restaurant there?
Yeah, yeah. This is my literally on my doorstep. It's dark at the moment because you can't see, but down there,
Yeah.
I live on a boat on the Mekong River.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay. So
so
you,
that's slightly different than most
wow.
expats and tourists are going to be experiencing.
So
So I've
you're,
got quite a unique take on living in the Rangpabang. But
okay.
there, this is my nearest cafe. I just walk up from my boat, up the beach, up some steps. Here I am.
Thinking about moving abroad? Adventure Freaks is packed with resources to help you every step of the way. Want immigration support? We connect you with experts who understand the process inside and out, giving you the most up-to-date, reliable information. No more sifting through outdated websites or confusing embassy pages. You can click on the country you're interested in and scroll down and see our helpful links here. Here's immigration and visas, which will connect you with an immigration lawyer in that country. Curious about life abroad? Talk to expats who've already made the move, all of which we've done podcasts with on our YouTube channel. Whether it's day-to-day living or navigating local bureaucracy, they've been there and can share their firsthand experience. You can also book a one-on-one consultation with me. I've spoken with hundreds of expats and professionals around the world, and I'm here to help you navigate the process and find the right destination for you. Not sure where to go? Our ideal destination finder can help. Answer 20 simple questions and discover the top 3 countries that match your lifestyle and priorities, all based on your answers. Plus, you can dive into our helpful articles covering everything from finding housing to understanding healthcare abroad. AdventureFreaks.com makes it easy to get the answers you need straight from the source. If you're ready to start your journey, we're here to help. Wow, that is so cool. So you found an actual boat to rent and live on.
No, I own it. I bought it.
You bought a boat.
Yeah.
You are all in, man. You are all in
Uh,
down there.
I didn't mean to. It was an accident. um,
This is
last year,
so
I stayed on a boat last year. There was a big boat moored up here. It was a boutique houseboat.
okay.
So the place I originally planned to stay in for my holiday last year, 2 weeks before I turned up, they said, "Oh, it's not a hotel. We've sold it. You can't stay there now. You have to find somewhere else." So I got onto Google Maps and just found somewhere close by, and it said boutique houseboat. I thought, okay, give that a go. Sounds exciting. I got friendly with the owner of the boat. A few months later, after a bit of chatting and whatnot online, he was saying, I've got this spare boat I want to get rid of. We can do it up as a miniature guest house, like a houseboat, rent it out to people to stay on. I thought, oh, yeah, okay, that sounds all right. So I had to spare money at the time. So I thought, right, I'll buy a boat then. I've never done boats before. Give it a go and see what happens. What can go wrong?
So how much, so how big is the boat and how much did you pay for it?
Uh, it, it's it's about 2 meters wide. but
Okay.
it's 24.5 meters long.
Okay.
So it's an old taxi boat. So all the seats have been ripped out. So
Hmm.
now it's just like a hollow wooden tube. I paid 3,000 for the actual boat itself, but then I paid another $7,000 to have some work done on it, have the roof raised up, so I wasn't constantly cracking my head walking through it.
Yeah.
It's got plumbing, it's got a toilet, cold water that plugs into the city supply here. So
Yeah.
the little solar panel and a battery, so I've got lights and I can charge my phones. It's basic. It's very, very basic, but everything I need to survive
Do you have a
is on there.
shower?
I've got a tap,
Okay.
but the hose pipe runs from under this restaurant along the beach, along the side of the boat. So when the sun's beating down on the side of the boat, I've got water that's hot shower temperature.
Okay.
So washing in the summer is fine. Even in the winter, in the daytime, it can get up to 25, 30 degrees here. So even
Hmm.
in the middle of winter, I can still get a warm wash. So it's not too bad.
And so in this cafe that you're at or this restaurant, I noticed you held up a beer right away. How much does a beer
Oh, yeah.
cost there? How much did that beer cost you?
This is the Laos. So this is the bog standard lager everybody drinks here. It's what is it? 640 mil. So it's just over half a liter. So it might be a pint. That's 35,000 kip, which is about £1.10,
Okay,
maybe.
about a buck ten.
Yeah, about that. So in the UK, this would probably be
Do you know what that is in USD?
six or £7, £8 in the UK, maybe £10 in London. US dollars at about 20% on for US dollars. I think it's kind of getting about there now.
What is that? But buck 30, buck 40?
Yeah, something £1 20 is going to be about £1.50.
Okay, about a dollar 50 for a big giant
Yeah,
pint.
yeah.
Nice.
Uh, the thing with Bang is it's noticeably more expensive than anywhere else in the country because of the UNESCO heritage site,
Yeah.
and it is absolutely tourist central here.
Okay. Okay. So you do see a lot of tourists there. Do you know where are they coming from? Where do most of the tourists seem to be coming from?
Um, Half of the tourists are from China,
Okay.
because it's a 2 hour train ride away. We've got the LCR, the Lao China Railway. It's a high speed rail link that goes from Vientiane, the capital, right the way up into as far into China as you want to go, really.
Yeah. Okay. And have you been to China
So,
yet or?
no, not yet, not yet.
Okay.
Last year, I think, was the first year China really opened their border after COVID.
Hmm.
So last year was testing the water. This year, the floodgates have been opened, and there's just like Chinese people like you didn't know existed.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
absolutely shoulder to shoulder in the town where the night market is, and the craft stands, and the touristy bars,
Hmm.
and all the tourist venues, all the big temples and the places around the area,
Yeah.
just rammed full of Chinese people.
Yeah.
That's ramping down now because it's getting on towards wet season. So this is the end of the tourist season now.
Yeah.
So at the moment, it's quiet. It's nice. It's more kind of there's still Chinese coming in, but at the moment, I say it's more kind of European, Southern Europeans,
Okay.
French, Italian, Spanish. I've made friends with an Austrian woman, um, an Argentinian as well. So
Oh,
there's
wow.
people from all over the world coming here, but it's primarily Chinese.
Okay.
And I think outside of that, probably the most white people are going to be Americans or French.
Yeah. So living in Luang Prabang, is where you live,
Uh-huh.
the city. Is it so I'm guessing that it's the Lao language is going to be pretty tough to learn. So are there enough expats that live there that you can connect with and speak to?
Yeah, yeah, there's a good expat scene here.
Okay.
Obviously, everyone speaks English, so I'm not going to learn Lao that way.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But there's the Lao people are friendly. I've got Lao friends as well.
Hmm.
There's young girlie works here at the cafe. When it's quiet, she sits down with me, and it started off I was supposed to be teaching her English, but now she's teaching me Lao instead.
Oh,
So we've got a role reversal there.
yeah, that's
It's
fantastic.
The language is there are lots of sounds in the Lao language you're not going to get in Western languages.
Yeah,
So your mouth and your jaw and your nose aren't used to making that shape and making that sound.
yeah.
But the mechanics of the language is pretty simple. There's no genders, so it's like English in that respect.
Hmm.
It's quite a stripped down basic language.
Yeah,
There's no real frills like European languages.
yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, well, Nigel, here's the one question that I have for you. I'm curious about and your thoughts on this. So, of all of the countries in Southeast Asia, you have Cambodia, you
Yeah.
have Vietnam, you have the Philippines, you have Thailand. They're very popular destinations. Why is Laos overlooked out of all those? Why do people typically choose those over Laos?
It's the one nobody knows anything about. It's in the middle of all the others. It's surrounded by countries everyone's heard of and for one reason or another are regularly in the news. But Laos is just kind of been a bit forgotten. There's quite a good backpacker scene here.
Hmm.
And there's quite a few expats that have come here to live that like the fact that nobody knows where it is. So it's
Yeah,
kind of a lot of it is untouched.
yeah. It's
It's a poor country as well, so it's not got a lot of the amenities that developed world travelers are kind of looking for.
hmm And it's
But I think
also
that's
it's also a landlocked country.
yes, yeah, yeah. There's no beaches here.
There's no
I'm
beaches
not sure where the
unless
nearest one is. I think the nearest beach is probably to the east and in Vietnam.
okay. And how long would it take you to get to Vietnam to go to the beach? Would you have to fly or could you take a bus?
You can take a bus. Some of the roads are in a good state of repair. Some of the roads are just dirt tracks,
Okay.
which isn't too much of a problem in the summer when it's dry, except for the choking dust. But when it's wet, it just turns into like a thick kind of slushy clay. So it's really hard to travel in the wet season.
Okay.
So pretty much any sensible distance you're going to be flying.
Hmm.
So it's going to be maybe $250 to Vietnam or the coast of Thailand or Cambodia, something like that.
Okay. So that's a round trip ticket for 250.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
roundabout.
All right. And
Book
that's
ahead, and there's deals to be had.
sure. Okay. All right. Let's dive into the visa requirements. What can you share about, um, you know, if there's any kind of income requirements or visa requirements for the people watching this podcast? What kind of hoops do they need to jump through to live in Laos?
It's pretty easy if you want to just get a yearly renewal. If you
Okay.
want to actually go for nationality, as I understand it, you need to revoke your existing nationality. And I think it's something like $250,000 to settle in Laos and become a Lao national.
Ooh, okay.
So, but I don't know anyone that's done that. All the people that I know here are here on some kind of retirement or work visa that you swap every year. So I'm on a 12-month multiple entry with work permit, which is the one most people are going to go with. You can do a similar one for a digital nomad. The only really difference is with the work permit, you can work for a Lao company here. With the digital nomad one, you have to be working for a company outside of Laos.
Okay.
But there's spouse visas if you're married to a Lao national. There are retirement visas. There's tourist visas for 1 month. So there's a small choice.
Hmm. And the one that
So
you're on, you mentioned, Nigel, you're on a 12-month multiple entry visa.
yeah,
What were
yeah.
the
So it's
requirements for that? What did they require you to provide to them as far as
you need
information?
an address where you're going to be staying.
Okay.
I went through an agency, a visa agency, so I paid $700.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. That's all you need. Oh, and two passport photos for your visa.
Two what?
Two passport photos.
Two passport photos.
That's,
Okay.
that's it, really. Yeah.
Okay, so then this is every year you have to renew it?
Yeah, yeah. So technically, I think I'm listed as a consultant and an employee of my visa company. So they become your sponsor.
Okay.
So you'll need a reputable visa company. There's one good one which I heard no bad things about, which seems to be the main one for the expats from Europe and America. And that's Chris Bath Visa. What you will get with this company is you get aftercare. So they are a visa company, but also an employment consultant.
Okay.
So if you've got any problems looking for work or you want help finding a job, and you want to know, how the agencies work here, employment agencies, what visa requirements you actually need for what you want to do when you get here, they can tell you all of that stuff as well.
Okay. All right. Great information. Thanks for that. All right. Well, let's dive into rentals. Everybody that's moving to Laos and Luang Prabang needs to have a place to live. What can you find a rental
Yeah,
for
yeah.
there?
Uh, there are more guest houses than you can count here. So you'll have no trouble finding somewhere to live. If you come here peak tourist season, especially around Christmas and New Year, Western Christmas, New Year, it can be full
Hmm.
because of lots of people from China. It's also when the best weather is. It's also getting close to the Hmong New Year, which is one of the tribal New Years here. So all the Hmong people come into the country as well for their New Year. So if you want to come between kind of end of November, end of January, you're going to need to book ahead. Otherwise, you'll be fine. You'll find somewhere. Guest houses, you can find everything from a homestay, staying with a family out in the sticks for something like, I don't know, $5 to $10 to $20 a night. You can come into the old town, which is a much more desirable area. You can pay up to 40, 50, $60 a night in town where you're looking at maybe 90 to $100 a night. But what you'll get is really, really good for the money. Wherever you go, you'll get something that's good for the money.
Yeah. So far, as far as like rentals though, for people that want to get a lease or rent per month, what are we looking at for rentals per month?
Uh, there are apartments that range from something small out of town for maybe 350 a month, $350 a month,
Okay.
right up into, like a big 3 or 4 story townhouse for maybe five, six, $700 a month.
Okay.
Bit more because this is Rangpabang. In the other cities, you'll be paying less.
So there, that's pretty expensive. That's more expensive
Yeah,
than
it's
Thailand and um, Cambodia.
it is. Yeah, it's cheap here, but not as cheap as you think. But
Hmm.
Luang Prabang is a law unto itself.
Yeah.
It's going to be maybe, I guess, 10 to 15% more expensive here than in somewhere like Savannakhet in the south or Paksay, somewhere smaller.
Yeah. Now, Nigel, you purchased your boat for 3K, then you put about 6,000 into it, you said, or seven?
Roundabout, yeah.
Okay. So now you're living rent free, but do you have to pay to dock your boat? Is there any fees that you have to pay per month?
Yes, because I'm on city water supply, so the water is piped into my boat,
Okay.
so I pay for that. But it's water here is dirt cheap. But that's not drinking water. That's just like washing up, washing clothes, washing myself.
Yeah.
You get the nobody here drinks town water. It's all
Sure.
bottled water. That's maybe another 10,000 kip a month for one person, which is 60 cents, 50 pence. So water here is dirt cheap.
Okay.
Um, I pay. $100 a month to a local maintenance guy who just checks in on the boat when I'm not there, make sure everything's working properly. If something breaks on it, he comes and fixes it. The thing with living on a river here is I'm between two dams, so the water level is always rising, always lowering. So I've always got to be with the boat to let the ropes out, pull the ropes in, depending on how close to the bank I am. If I'm not here, the guy also does that as well to make
Hmm.
sure the boat doesn't sink,
Yeah.
and just general having somewhere to keep the boat in a permanent place. It's about what did I say? $100 a month, so $1,200 a year I pay for that.
And that's for the maintenance, basically.
Yeah, and keeping it here and water.
Okay,
And
so you're
I
saying
don't
for
generate
what?
much rubbish
So you're saying for water and maintenance, it's going to be about $100 per month.
for the boat, but this is a unique experience. Most people aren't going to be coming here to live on a boat.
Right. Okay, but that's what you're paying, which is great. Do you have
Yeah.
Wi-Fi on your boat? And
No, but every cafe and every restaurant has Wi-Fi in town.
okay.
So from my boat, I can get the signal from three or four different cafes. So I've always got internet. It's a bit slow sometimes,
Yeah.
but I just walk up the steps into a cafe or go into town and use, one of the restaurants there and use their Wi-Fi. It's fine.
Okay. And how about
You
electricity?
can electricity. I've got a solar panel and a little battery, which is enough for what I need on the boat.
Okay.
But it's peanuts. And generally, if you're going to rent an apartment or a house, everything will be included in the price. So you'll get your water, town water, you'll get your bottled water, you'll get your bins emptied, you'll get electricity, you'll get Wi-Fi, you might get Netflix as well, and internet,
So all of
whatever.
that is included. If you get a 350, if you get a
Yeah,
$350 apartment, all of that is included.
yeah, it will be a basic apartment for that money. It'll be one room, maybe a kitchen and a bathroom in as part of a house.
Hmm.
You won't get furniture for that. You'll need to buy your own furniture.
Okay.
But again, this is around $350 in Savannah, Paxay, or what's it called, Ponsavan. Uh, you'll get a lot more for your money in the other places.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
again, it's seasonal. So out of season, when the rainy season here, if you move here when the rainy season starts, you'll find cheaper accommodation than you will if you move here at
Sure.
peak tourist season around Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. And then you can get larger places you were mentioning for about 500 bucks on up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You can. I'm not sure how it works with buying. I think because I'm a foreigner, I'm not allowed to buy land. I have to lease land, but
Yep.
I can own a house that's on the land, and I can pay to have somewhere built as well. So for the price of my single bed mid terrace in the UK, I can buy on the outskirts of the capital a three-bedroom, three-story townhouse with a double garage underneath. So depending on where you want to stay and where you want to live, you can get some really big places for not very much money.
Yeah.
If you're okay living 5 or 10 kilometers out of town, you can buy some kilometers of land and have a place built for, you know, $30,000, $40,000.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. The only
Yeah.
reluctance I would have is it's all over the Asian area. That's you do not own the land, so you got to
Yeah.
form some relationships and partnerships with people,
Yeah.
nationals that actually do own the land. But a lot of people buy condos because of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Land all works on grandfather rights over here. So if
Yes.
you've been living on the land for enough years, your family's been on there, then it's your family's land.
Hmm.
But there is a land registry as well, and paperwork to deal with, and faff and money.
Yeah, yeah. Do you
So
know
if
what
you
do you know
if
what
you come in with a
condos?
Lao national, if you have a Lao national to help you, so
Yes.
they own 59% of whatever you want, you own 41% of it. That really cuts all the paperwork and the difficulties and the expense.
Yeah,
But you
sure.
have to find somebody you trust.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. I mean, and just, when you think about the relationships of people that fall out, even with family, it's a risk. It
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it is
yeah,
a
yeah.
it is a risk. What are apartments if you wanted to buy a condo there for? What are they going for?
Um, it's it depends where you want to live.
Hmm.
There's a massive discrepancy in price between towns and countries.
Okay.
Oh, technology, isn't it great? Makes our
And
lives
it,
so much easier.
and it's like amazing that you and I can connect and you're halfway around the world
Yeah,
about ready.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
After
yeah.
this, you're going to go to your boat on the Mekong River and go to sleep. And I'm just starting my
Yeah,
day. It's just bizarre, man.
yeah, yeah.
It is
Yeah,
wild.
never in my life did I ever imagine that I'd be living on a boat in the Mekong River in Southeast Asia.
That's what
It's
makes
like,
you special, buddy.
what?
That's what makes you special. I mean, how many people that's like a almost like an adventurer's kind of, it's a dream that never ever comes to reality.
To
It's
be.
like it's a thing as a child that we think about that's what we want to do. As kids, we're all adventurers. This is something that we want to do. And you're
Yeah, yeah.
actually doing it. And you are actually
Well,
doing it.
I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in an apartment. So I paid for an apartment across town.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Uh, Long story. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the details.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still being sorted out. But I
Okay.
lost my accommodation literally weeks before I turned up. So I'm not supposed to be living on my boat. I'm supposed to be living in an apartment across
Wow.
town. It's just handy that I bought a boat, so I've got somewhere to stay when I turned up here. So it's taken me 2 months to actually get an address I can use to get my 1 year visa.
Yeah.
And this is still only temporary accommodation. I'm not supposed to be here.
Oh, but it works out so good because like for you to get to come on a podcast and say, I live on a boat on the Mekong, that's so
Yeah,
much better than saying I live in an apartment in Laos.
this would never work in the UK. If I turned up in the UK with my passport and a tourist visa and said, I haven't really got anywhere to live though, so I've got a boat, they'd just kick me back out again. But
Yeah,
here in Laos, you turn up, you say, yeah, I'm going to be living in a guest house, fill the form in guest house. Go live in your boat, hope nobody notices. It's
right.
like, yeah, okay, no one's, no
Yeah,
one's
yeah,
done anything. I'm not causing trouble. I'm not making a problem. I'm,
yeah.
paying for the facilities. So it's like they're leaving me alone.
And
It's all right.
I'm guessing, Nigel, that you can't lock your boat up, so I'm guessing it's quite safe
No,
where
I
you're
can.
at.
I can.
Oh, you can.
Um, yeah, yeah. I've got there's an area at the back where I sleep in the engine room effectively. And that's got bolts on all the doors and the shutters, so I can lock myself in, keep myself safe. Um, Stuff has gone missing because it's a poor country, so things will disappear if they're unattended or left seemingly unowned.
Hmm.
So I left some flip flops out on the front of my boat when I first got here. They disappeared.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
that's not an uncommon thing. You take your flip flops, take your shoes off whenever you go into somebody's building.
Yeah,
If you go to the touristy temples, the big popular temples, take your flip flops off. There's a chance they might not be there when you come back because there are some very, very poor people here with no shoes, so they're
yeah.
still flip flops.
Sure.
But on the whole, walking around town at 11 p.m. when everything shuts, I feel safer here, far safer here than I did in my hometown in the UK.
Wow.
I've talked to a lot of female travelers. There can be problems because there are problems everywhere and there are idiots everywhere. But I've not met any that have had any issues here.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
this is quite a safe place to live. It's very, very touristy. It's entirely geared around tourist safety and tourist expenditure.
sure.
So if
Yeah,
anything bad happens to tourists here, it's like, oh
yeah.
shit, we can't have this.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
So you're going to be safe here.
Well, let's break down some of the costs now. So we know that utilities are pretty much included in whatever rental you secure there. So
Yeah.
let's look at groceries. What do you think people would need to budget, a single person would need to budget for groceries per month?
Again, it depends what you want to eat. If
Sure.
you want to eat Western food, you're going to pay a lot more than local food. It can be approaching the price you're going to pay at home for
Okay.
things like bread here is very expensive because it's not native. Wheat isn't native to the country. Cheese is here purely for the Europeans. There is buffalo cheese, local buffalo cheese, but again, that's a specialty. So that's expensive.
Hmm.
So for what you can pay for, like a little block of cheese like that, you can get maybe two small meals out.
Sure.
So if you're going to just go to the local markets, buy fresh fruit, veg, a little bit of meat, you can get by on $5 a day easily for food.
Okay.
But it doesn't cost that much more to go out to eat. And obviously, you haven't got the washing up, you haven't got the time spent preparing and cooking.
Yeah.
So I can eat out at a nice restaurant, an okay restaurant, twice a day for my daily budget. Uh, if you want to drink a lot, beer now is cheap. Wine is expensive. Cocktails are expensive, but they suit the weather really well here, and they do nice cocktails in town. So yeah, you can pay anywhere between I'd say $5 to $20 a day, depending on whether you want to stay at home and cook simply for yourself or go out to the best restaurants every day.
So if you go out to a man pa restaurant to get a local Lao meal, a nice
Yeah, it's kind
meal,
of where I am now. Yeah.
yeah, how much are you going to pay for a meal there?
Um, I'd get a good one course meal with two bottles of beer for 150 kip, which is maybe $4.
So you're paying about $4, and that includes two beers.
Yeah, round about four to
Okay.
five bucks.
And you do that a couple times a week.
I do it every day.
Oh, you do it every day.
I've got a little camping stove on my boat, so I'm okay. I can do instant noodles with spring onions and garlic, and I can do a coffee in the morning. But advanced cooking, I've not got the facilities really.
So that would be about $120 a month that you spend eating out with a couple beers.
Yeah,
Does that sound about
yeah,
right for
yeah,
you?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and
about that.
that's at restaurants, and that's you doing it every day. So most people aren't.
That's an average restaurant. Yeah, there's cheaper places, there's more expensive places.
Sure. Okay. All right. All right. Well, that's good. That's great information. That helps people understand what they're going to spend. Now, for entertainment, what do people do in Luang Prabang for entertainment?
Um, you've got the tourist sites, so you've got river tours, you've got caves to explore. There's nice places up and down the river to just stop on the little beach and have something to eat. We've got waterfalls. There's elephant sanctuaries.
Oh,
There's some kind of homestay farms where you go and learn a bit of farming, learn to plant rice. You can learn to make pots locally. You can learn to do forge work, making knives. But
wow.
mostly, it's going into town, enjoying the architecture and the old colonial feel, eating fantastic food and drinking cheap beer is what most people do.
So, and that's,
There's lots of craft centers. There's paper laying. There's weaving. Weaving's big here as well.
hmm. Wow. So you can learn how to like make knives and there's um
Yeah,
wow, that's and so there's beaches on the Mekong that you can take
yeah.
it.
There's lots of trekking in the area as well. Just going off into a guided walk through the jungle for a few hours to a few days.
Okay.
That's more around Van Dieng. You do that kind of thing than here.
Yeah.
Here, the attraction is the old town, the colonial old town.
Yeah. Now for the hiking, do you have to be concerned about any dangerous animals or snakes or anything?
It's not snakes. It's the unexploded ordnance that will get you if you go off trail here. There are snakes. There's maybe 9 or 10 venomous snakes you need to watch out for.
Okay.
But generally speaking, they'll be well aware of you before you are of them, and they'll be gone. They'll be out of the way. Uh, but following the secret war, and the Second French Indochina War, there is enormous quantities of unexploded bombs littering the countryside. It's the most heavily bombed place on the planet. More bombs were dropped on Laos than were dropped by either side in the entire Second World War. And a lot of that, there's something like 800,000 unexploded things still kicking around the fields and the jungle waiting to be trodden on.
That's right. I completely forgot about that. So they have like
It's not something
organization.
nobody knows about the place.
Yeah,
No.
no, I've read about that. And there's like people that walk around that are maimed that have stepped on some of these. Do
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you know, through,
It's one a week. Somebody's killed or maimed a week, one a week. But one local farmer kid sees this little shiny ball in the ground. What was a ball? Bang,
yeah,
arm's gone, blind. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, that's what I was reading. It's just like it's a tragedy. And I hear that there are movements in organizations that are working to clean that up, but
yeah.
that could take decades from what they
It's
explain.
been going on for decades, and it will
Yes,
continue to go on for decades. Yeah,
that
yeah.
is,
The UK's got some people working here. Japan's doing quite a lot as well.
yeah,
Unfortunately, America has just cut all funding to minesweeping.
yeah.
Hopefully, that will change again in the future.
Sure. So it sounds to me like if you definitely are going out for a hike in Laos, you want to stay on the trails. You
Yeah, and it
definitely,
depends where you are as well. Where I am, there was some bombing here, but it's not like anything like in the other regions. On the Ho Chi Minh Trail in the south of the country,
yeah.
where it follows the route up from South Vietnam into North Vietnam,
Hmm.
that was heavily bombed. And to the east of here, in the Plain of Jars, it's a very big tourist attraction. There's just you know craters scooped out of the ground everywhere. So
Wow.
that's where you don't want to be going off trail. But if you've got a good guide and you stick to a known route, you'll be fine. You'll be okay.
Sure. Yeah, that's great information. So for the river tours, for the elephant sanctuary, for just like getting on a boat to going to explore beaches on the Mekong, what do they charge you for that to do those kinds?
I don't know. I've,
Okay.
I've got my own boat, so I don't need to go on a river tour.
You need to start charging people to go on these tours. You got to do boat tours.
Um, I came here to retire. I'm not supposed to be working. I'm supposed to be retiring. It's not working. I've had a job offer.
Yeah. What kind of job offer did you have in Ventian?
It's actually a friend of mine. So it's the friend I met in London that got me out here to see the place and got me moved here. She's recently started up a logistics company, imports, exports in and out of Laos, like
Okay.
big containers of stuff.
I see.
She wants somebody to do her social media in correct English
Hmm.
and someone to help her out with the English speaking clients. She wants to
Yeah.
spread further afield. I think at the moment there are no import tariffs to the UK from Laos. So if we can get something going with the UK, then I'll obviously be able to look after that.
I see.
But
Okay. Well, that
I
sounds
don't know.
great.
We'll see. It's all up in the air. It's all up in the air.
Yeah, that sounds kind of exciting, you know?
One thing here is it's chaos. There is planning, but there's very little planning, and things rarely go to plan.
Yeah.
Uh, there's the name of the country is Lao PDR, Lao People's Democratic Republic, but it actually stands for Lao People Don't Rush.
Hmm.
It's There's a guy who's supposed to be helping me with my boat tonight. He's not turned up, so he'll probably turn up tomorrow afternoon. So it's like stuff happens when it happens, and you can't get wound up about it.
It's a different pace
Uh,
of life.
oh my God, it's so different to the UK.
Yeah.
I'm autistic. I really struggle with having no plan and no structure. So
Yes.
coming here has been uh, hard work, shall we say. It's taken a
Yeah.
lot of adjusting to.
So if you had to put a price, for example, just to give the viewers an idea for entertainment, doing all these things, how much do you think that they would need to budget per month to participate in some of those activities you
Ooh.
mentioned?
You can do everything you want to do for $15 a day.
Yeah, well, and they're not going to do it every day. I mean, they might go on a
No,
cave
no, no.
exploration once a month. They might go to the elephant sanctuary maybe once a
Yeah,
year,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
So do three. Three venues in a day. Go on the boats, go to the elephants, go to the caves, come back. That's going to be quite an expensive day. Next
Sure.
day, just stay in town, stay in your accommodation, just relax, go out to dinner somewhere nice,
Right.
and that's drastically cheaper.
Yeah. Okay. That gives us an idea. All right. Thanks for that. Getting around, getting around Luang Prabang,
Uh-huh.
transportation. How do people do that? I'm certain they don't have a metro there.
No. The whole country revolves around motorbikes, scooters.
Okay.
It's there's a thing. It's done more for the emancipation of women than anything else in this country. Getting women onto motorbikes, out of the home, out of the farm, into towns, into jobs, visiting their friends, giving them a social life. Everything revolves around motorbikes.
Okay.
There are tuk-tuks, which are a bit more pricey because they're a bit more touristy,
Hmm.
and they're just sat not working for a long time. We're waiting for customers. So for the same price as an hour in a tuk-tuk, you can rent a motorbike and have a good amount of change for it, and you'll get that motorbike for 24 hours.
Hmm.
But the town itself is small. The old town, you can walk from one end to the other in 15 minutes.
So it's very walkable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The outer town, um, where things really happen, clothes shops, the markets where the locals do their shopping. That's maybe a half hour to an hour walk, and in the heat, it's a bit much,
Yeah.
and there are no footpaths once you get out of the old town. So you want to have either a tuk-tuk or a taxi or a motorbike for the day.
What do they charge you to get on a scooter and scoot somewhere?
A scooter here, you'll get a Honda Scoopy, which is just a twist and go, step through, 110cc. The most expensive, I think, is 200,000 kip a day. The cheapest I found, which is a bit of a ratty old bike that had been down the road a few times, been on its side, was 150 kip a day. Cheapest one's about $5 a day. Most expensive one's going to be $8, $9 a day.
So you're talking about renting a bike and driving it
Yeah,
yourself.
that's 24 hours.
Okay.
So you,
So
you will leave your passport behind in case you wreck the bike or steal it or whatever. So
now
it's for security.
what if you just want to hire a taxi or have somebody take you across town or go somewhere? What do they charge the tuk-tuks for the
Um,
ride?
so I can get a tuk-tuk with a guy I regularly use. He'll pick me up from this cafe. Uh, we'll go for a 20-minute ride. I'll do something wherever I need to do. He'll pick me up and bring me back again, maybe an hour, 2 hours later, and that will cost me 200 to 300 kip, which is $5 to $8 maybe.
For 2 hours.
Yeah, roundabout. If you don't want a tuk-tuk, which is a bit like rough and ready and bouncy, and you're out in the open, dusty, you can hire a minivan, air-conditioned minivan with however many seats. They will take you to the local attractions on the road, like an hour or two away. But again, I'm not sure what they charge because it's not something I've ever done.
Yeah. Okay. And how much would you
But
say you budget for tuk-tuks and jumping in a like a taxi or a motor scooter
it's not part
something?
of my budget. Everything I need is in town. I walk
You walk everywhere.
very
Okay.
occasionally. I will get a tuk-tuk to a friend's place out of town, but that's maybe like once a month.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
So
So
yeah, that's just for one thing. What I'll probably do is try and save up a few things in the day to do. If I want to go out of town and see an attraction or do some shopping, and I'm around the outskirts of town, not in the old town, I'll get a motorbike, and that's 200 kip a day, $8.
okay.
Same price as a tuk-tuk, but I got it for 24 hours.
Yeah, yeah. All right, great. Well, if you rent a motorbike and it's $5 a day, how much is it per month?
The price goes down.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
So I rented recently from one place and it was 180,000 kip a day. I rented for 11 days and it went down to 150,000 kip a day. So you're saving maybe 80 cents a day.
Okay.
So a longer term. for if you wanted to rent for a few months, you get a much better rate from that.
Hmm.
But then if you're going to do that, you'd probably want to look at buying something. So you could buy a motorbike with the proper license and paperwork for here, $4,000 or $5,000.
Okay.
In Vientiane, maybe $3,000 to $4,000. Out in the countryside, something a bike with a high mileage you can pick up for 300 or 400.
Okay. All right, great. And the last thing we cover, Nigel, is healthcare. Everybody wants to know what the health care is like there. If it's a, in your opinion, a quality healthcare, and can expats access it? Is it public? Is it free, or do you have to pay in?
It's not free,
Okay.
but you can just turn up. You don't need an appointment. If you want to go to the dentist or a doctor, you turn up there, and it's you sit and wait and you're seen. You don't need to book in or anything.
Okay.
You can get things like um, X-rays are dirt cheap here. You might have to go to Vientiane, the capital, but it's something like $17 for a bit of poking and probing and an X-ray and a report at the end of it all.
Okay.
For more extreme stuff, if you need an operation or something, or extreme healthcare, you're going to be flown out of Laos to Thailand, to Bangkok, to a hospital there,
Okay.
or to Ho Chi Minh City, not Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, northern Vietnam,
Hmm.
or Hong Kong. In Vientiane, the hospitals are improving. So there is an international standard hospital. It's a lot cheaper here than it is in Thailand, but
Hmm.
you might not quite get the same level of healthcare regarding the quality of the room you're staying in and the number of doctors and nurses, the quality of the x-rays, stuff like that. But it's going to be better in Thailand. But for
Okay.
minor stuff, you can get everything you need to done here. Dentistry is good as well. There's lots of independent dentists about.
Hmm.
I've got a cracked tooth I need to sort out, which was
Okay.
I spoke to my dentist in the UK before I came out. He took an x-ray, which was £120 or something. He said, "Oh yeah, you need two fillings. We'll do them both together, £400."
Hmm.
No thanks,
Yeah.
because I knew I was coming out here. So I can get the same thing here: two X-rays, two fillings for maybe $40.
Yeah.
Um, if I was going to be here full time, well, that's the plan. I'm going to be full time. There is health insurance that I think it's a legal requirement.
Hmm.
It's provided by the state, and it's $40 a year, so it's not going to break the bank. You
It's
can have your own health
$40.
insurance if you want, pay as
It's
much as you want. Yeah, I think that the bare bones basic necessity you need to stay here for healthcare is $40 a year, and that's provided by the state.
What does that cover?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Uh,
Okay.
for for what you would pay over a year, it's probably going to be cheaper just to not to buy that if you can find a way around it and just save up for any expenses you're going to pay yourself. A brain tumor or a snake bite, or you lose a leg or something like that, then you're going to want insurance to pay for it because you're going to have to go to Bangkok.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. If you got to fly out to Thailand, if something serious happens, it sounds like that could be quite expensive. You don't want to pay out of pocket for that. And I'm wondering if
No.
there's
For a
insurance.
minor operation, to go to Thailand for a minor operation, you're going to be looking at $15,000 to $20,000.
Yeah.
That's without healthcare. So even without healthcare, it's not that expensive. You can still afford to do most things you're going to want to do.
Mm. So for something that's significant, you're going to be flown out and you're looking at about 15 to $20,000 you'd have to pay out of
Yeah,
pocket without
for like an
insurance.
outpatient operation. So you're in for one night, maybe 2 nights. You have your operation, they send you back again.
Do you know if there's any insurance that you can pay for, any private insurance that you can pay for that would cover the cost of something like that so that you wouldn't have to?
Um, yeah, any international health insurance will cover you.
Okay. Do you know what the costs are per month for those types of insurance plans?
No, no.
No.
I think
Okay.
it's going to be something like maybe $120 to $200 a month for
Okay.
something really comprehensive, really, really top notch.
Do you know if there's any people that specialize in helping expats and retirees living in Laos find health insurance?
Come across, but
Okay.
my visa people, I could ask my visa people, they would let me know.
Okay.
So if you get a good visa company, they will help you with all this stuff.
With all of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's Nigel, that's everything. We've covered everything. Is there anything else you can think of that we didn't discuss that could benefit the viewers considering moving to
Mm.
Laos?
If you're not an insects and creepers crawly person, maybe this isn't the place for you. Then, well, they are everywhere, but you don't get to see them everywhere. But when they do turn up, some of the insects are quite big. There's huntsman spiders that are that size,
Yeah,
beetles the size of your thumb flying around the place. So if you're a bit squeamish about that, maybe cooler northern climate in America or Europe might be better for you. But
sure.
if you're looking for somewhere to just stop and just chill out and just like, oh, I've had enough now, I want to stop, then yeah, it's great place for that. Great place for that. But it takes time to acclimatize to the slow pace of life
Yeah.
and things not being done the second people say they're going to be done.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there was like some kind of like lizard up on the top of the canvas there behind you that when you were talking it was moving around. It's not there anymore, but I noticed there was
One
some
there, one there,
Oh,
one
there they
there.
Okay, yep, there they are. There they are,
Yeah,
the
so that's
little lizards.
the geckos.
Hey, I got a quick
Yeah,
question I forgot to ask.
absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, I forgot to ask you. Does it gets steamy there? It gets hot in Laos. How do you air condition your boat?
Not the boat, no,
Okay.
because there's usually enough wind blowing up and down the river to cool me off.
Okay.
It can get hot sat down in the middle of the boat, but I'd go up and sit at the back, and there's a wind blowing upstream that will get me that way. When
Okay.
it blows downstream, I sit at the front of the boat, get the wind that way.
Okay.
But yeah, it does get hot. It's getting on towards the hot season now, so it's going to be up in the 30s and 40s a lot.
Yes.
But we're starting to get the rains as well, so we'll get a 20-minute rainstorm, and that will just suck all the heat out of the air, and it will be nice again. The sun will come out, and it'll be creeping back up into the 30s. Then you get sunset, so the temperature goes down again. But it's still up in the mid 20s at night, so it can get a bit hot and sweaty at night.
Hmm.
All the quality guest houses and apartments are going to have air conditioning, so it's catered for here.
Sure. Sure.
Even just a fan. If you've got a big fan, lots of shops sell big fans, and that's enough just to take the worst of it off.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, Nigel Coulson, I just wanted to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to share all this information, tips,
Yeah, that's okay.
your experience living in Laos. You are living the dream, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, it's hard to remember sometimes. I keep stressing about all the things I should be doing and that need to be sorted out. It's like, no, stop now.
All right, man. Well,
Open a
you have a,
beer, sit and do nothing.
yeah. Well, you have a great rest of the evening, and thank you again for doing this.
Will do. Yeah, yeah.